Hey everybody, Shawn Holsinger here from holsingersflyshop.com. Bringing you another fly tying video this week. This week I'm going old school and it's sulphur season, so I'm going to tie a sulphur for you. Very cool pattern, I like it a lot. Just a natural looking old school pattern. Sulphur colors you can play around with, they're a little bit different everywhere, and this was one that I kind of like here in my area. One thing, they're dark on the back and lighter on the belly, so that's why I'm going with this golden olive dubbing that you'll see in it here. It's gives it a little bit of a golden color. Yeah, it's a little bit green, but that's fine. It's that lighter color we're looking for. And I'm using some turkey Biot quills. I haven't used them in a while, and they make great quill bodies. So give that a try. You're going to like the look of it. It's just going to take a little bit of practice. Have fun tying, guys. Here you're going to see the fly in the vise and then the material list to tie it. Alright, here you see the turkey Biot sulphur in the vise. We're going to get into tying it. For a hook, I'm using a Daiichi. This is a 1560 nymph hook. And I put about 10 wraps of 015 lead on there. And for thread, I'm using some Semperfli Nanosilk. This is 12-aught brown. You could use black, yellow, olive, you know, any color really. You're only seeing what's at the head, and just darker the better. Just gonna put that on there and cover up my wraps with it, and then I'm going to wrap back to the bend to put the tail on. For a tail, we're going to use our partridge skin, and the feathers I want to use are back here on the rump section. I want to use these darker feathers back here, so I'm just going to pluck one of them out. And here you can see it here. I already got one started here. I pulled all the fluff off. I want to get down to just the hackle fibers up here at the top, and I'm going to strip about 6 or 8 of them off. Try to keep all the tips together when you strip them off. Set your feather aside for the next one, whatever's left. And there you can see I got a clump of about 8 of them there. So what I want is, I wanted about 3/4 the length of the shank of the hook. I don't want it too long, but I want it long enough that it's noticeable. And we're just going to tie that on right there at the bend of the hook and wrap it forward. Now I'm going to wrap it right up to that lead there and cut it off. I don't want to go up over the lead because I don't want to build up too much on the lead. What I'm going to do now is take my thread and build a little taper up just so it smoothly transitions onto that lead. You can definitely tie this without the lead if you want. I just like a little bit of weight, so I'm putting some lead on it. Next thing we're going to use is the turkey Biot quills. So these come in packs. Here you can see one of the feathers. On the back side is the big long quills that I use for like tails on my nymphs and stuff like this. On the other side of the feather, it's a turkey wing, and these are the feathers here that I'm going to use on this. So I'm just going to strip one of those off. You can't really see it on the film here, but there's a concave, well maybe you can there. There's a concave and a convex side to it. I'm going to tie it with the concave side away from the, concave side away from the hook. So I want the cup of that C shape pointing out away from the hook. Sometimes it goes the right way, sometimes it doesn't. Depends on the side of the feather, I believe. But next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this quill up the hook. And when I wrap it, what I want is the quill kind of goes into an L shape. If I can get my, there we go, if I can get my hackle pliers on it. And I want the back of that L, sorry about that, I want the back of that L facing the back of the fly. When I wrap it, you'll see, oh, there, you can see there, it's this little hump right here is forward. I want that on the back side. So what I'm going to do is reverse wrap. It's easiest just to switch it and go the other direction with it. to get that at the back. If it's at the front, then you tend to wrap over it and it makes a sloppy looking fly. So just switch your direction there and wrap this forward. This will give you a nice ribbed look. If you want, you can put a piece of wire in there and add a wire rib in between these ribs, but I don't feel that's necessary. You can also take and put a little dab of super glue down on your body there before you wrap that. It'll make it a little bit more sturdy. So I got that up there a little bit past halfway, between halfway and 2/3, and that's where I want that to be. Next thing we're going to use is a brown pheasant tail. Use natural if you have. I just like this brown. I want to give it a brown colored back or wing case. So I'm going to tear off about 6 fibers of that, and we're just going to cut the tips of this off. And I'm going to tie it down on top of the hook. So what I like to do is I like to tie it a little bit over the side so as I wrap it on, it wraps up on top. And like I said, I want to go a little bit between that 1/3 and 1/2 way back. Next thing I'm going to do is put a little bit of olive dubbing, golden olive SLF squirrel dub. It does not take much of this. And what this is going to do, this is going to give me the light underbelly of the fly. So I'm going to go very, very sparse on this. With that lead, I've already built up a little bit there. So I don't want to put too much on it. That's the worst mistake a new tyer can make, is going overboard and making things too big. So I'm just going to wrap that back there and then bring it back forward. I'm going to have to take a little bit of this off. There we go. Bring that to the eye, and we're going to put our legs on. So I tore off 2 feathers here, and again I stripped the fluff back, and then I pulled the tip out. So I just grab a hold of the tip, pull it out, and then I stroke about 6 or 8 fibers forward on each side and make a nice little V as you see there. That's going to become my legs. Then I'm going to take and I'm going to sit that down right in the hook gap here. So as you see, I'm going to sit it right in between, and I'm going to get it to the length I want it. I want it about right there. And then I'm just going to pinch it with my fingers and hold it tight. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a loose wrap, and then another just a little bit tighter, and I'll make about 4 wraps, getting tighter each time as I go, and you can see how that makes them stand out nice on the side. Get that loose wrap down first so it kind of secures them, and then put it into place with your next wraps. Don't go overboard on that first one or they'll turn to spin around. So next thing then is we're just going to pull that brown wing case up over top and make a couple more wraps. Now when I do this, I'd like to go a couple behind and a couple in front before I cut it off. And you'll see me, I like to reach up and pull my thread back so it don't fall off the eye while I'm cutting the material off there. So that's what I'm actually doing when I do that. And then we're just going to whip finish. And we're all done with this fly. You can, if you want, put a little bit of head cement or some Solar Res bone dry on there. I got 2 nice whip finishes. I'm done. I'll probably lose the fly before I end up breaking the thread on it. There you go. Very cool looking, very realistic, natural looking fly. Alright guys, I hope you liked that pattern. It was a fun one for me to tie. I like going old school on my flies every now and then, and I enjoy tying them. So I hope you do too. I'm sure you probably do. Have fun tying, experiment. Obviously, tie this one in different colors. Tie it in olives for your blue-winged olives. Tie it a little bit smaller for them, of course. But, you know, this fly can match a lot of different mayfly nymphs. It's silhouette. You know, lift up some rocks, look at underneath the little rocks there. See that silhouette and picture that when you're tying. Use a little bit of lead here to give you that natural taper that you see in this fly, and you got a killer little fly pattern. I'm going to fish this on my wet flies. You know, I might tie this as my bottom fly on my wet fly swing. It's fishing it kind of like as an emerger. I'm also going to tie it as one of my top flies on my Euro rig. So one of my droppers off my Euro rig. Get me a fly to get me down, and then have this there as just a little tiny attractor fly. So Have fun tying, guys. Experiment with different things. Learn new techniques. That's what this is all about. Learning new techniques every time. If you just keep stacking those techniques one on top of the other, you're going to learn to be able to tie any kind of fly you want. So have fun. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Drop a comment down below. I try to get back to your comments. It's guide season right now, so I'm out guiding a lot. I'm not watching it as closely, but I try to get back to them as quickly as I can. And if you have any questions or would like me to tie any flies for you, feel free to reach out to me at holsingersflyshop@gmail.com. Those emails go directly to me, and I get them quicker than if you go through the shop. And any of the materials, like always, guys, please head over to our website and continue to support our website, holsingersflyshop.com. We thank you for all the support you've given us throughout the years. I've been having a lot of fun bringing them to you, and I'm planning on continuing as long as I can. So thanks for watching, everybody. Until next week when I bring you another video, I'm Shawn Holsinger.